Welcome to the basic training on Infusionsoft. I'm going to make this into two different sessions. One session is just to give you the idea of Infusionsoft and how the database works and where you're storing the information. And then the second one will just be to go through all the various outcomes. The second session will be. So first things first, you have to log into the system, and you need to log in via Firefox. You could not use Internet Explorer. You should not use Internet Explorer or Chrome. You need to use Firefox. Firefox will so you enter the address called signin.infusionsoft.com. You press enter, and you should be brought to the ID screen. At which point you will be entering the email ID that was provided along with the password that was provided to you. You sign in, and immediately it brings you to a list of accounts. The accounts is, you're not interested in any marketplace, so you're interested in the Cerex database. So that's what the account that you want to be logging into. And once you've logged in there, you are now able to see all your tasks. So if I wanted to look at all my tasks, I can just click on the all tasks, and that's exactly where it brings me. Now you'll notice that there are two hyperlinks here. One is the actual cold call, or this is a hyperlink that'll take me to the task itself. But I'm more interested in going to the hyperlink of the contact. So do not click on the hyperlink of the actual task, but click on the contact hyperlink. This will bring you to the contact record, where you will see the phone number of the prospect that you need to contact. And we need to, for this particular campaign, we need to fill out the email address. So when you get the email address, you will put it in here. And please do not forget, this is very important, press the save button. Because otherwise, whatever you put in here will not be saved. If we look up here, we have a whole bunch of different things, different tabs, none of which are of any interest to you for the moment. I suggest that you do not venture too far out from this screen. Now, if you go down a little bit, you will see all the tasks and that are assigned to this particular contact, Dr. David E. And at this point, you can see that this was the task that you saw in your task list. And once you've and I'm going to go through all the possible outcomes. So here are the tasks, and when you complete a task, or in our case, we are going to be doing notes. You will see that you will be able to see all the notes under the notes section. So again, all I did was I went from my task list, I clicked on the hyperlink to bring me to the contact. At the contact, this is the contact page. On the contact page, I have sections where I see the tasks and appointments, all the completed tasks, previous appointments, notes. We're only interested in tasks and appointments and notes. I am going to go through the various outcomes in a second, and back here we have the information. And if you change any information in here, you need to please press the save button. I could not emphasize this enough. And that is the end of our first introductory session. Okay, now for the second part of the training. How do we record outcomes? The main goal of this particular campaign for Adeeva is to get the email address, and that's it, of the doctor that we are calling. That's all we need to do. So the gatekeeper has to give you the email address. That's the only thing you really want. So we're going to be making a whole bunch of calls. So as I showed you before, when you log in, you're taken to My Day, and you click on all tasks, and you will be brought to this particular screen. So you could start, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the contact itself. Now, when you make a call, you are going to have a number of different types of results or outcomes. And in order to track those outcomes, we have two sections here. One is the tasks, and the other one is the notes. So this is the task that was linked, that you saw, that is linked to that task list that you saw earlier. And these are the notes. So here I see that I had already called this guy and I had a wrong number. Now let's just say I did not call this guy before, and I do want to record the fact that I called and left a message with the gatekeeper, and I will call back in 2 days. So over here you have all the note templates, and the note templates will allow you to very quickly register any of the outcomes. So one of the outcomes that you see here was that we had the wrong number, and let's just say we got the right number, and now we called them and we're messing with the gatekeeper. So now we just talked with the gatekeeper. She would not give me the email address of the doctor. So what I do now is I click on left message with gatekeeper, and I'm going to call her back in 2 days, and I add that note. Then you get this little screen that opens up, and not just telling me, confirming that that note was added. And you'll see that it also added another activity up here under the tasks to follow up in 2 days. So that's great. Now what I could do is, this is no longer a cold call, and I can just click on here and actually delete this call, and we are done. Now from here, I can go back to my task list simply by going to my day up here and clicking on all tasks. And then I am presented with my next call. Okay, so we've seen one of the scenarios, one of the call outcomes, where we were talking to the gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper wants us to call back in 2 days. So the next possible outcome is a game. So let's go through the process again. I will click on the next phone call, which is the contact at the top, and I will see that it is a cold call, and I will see that I have not called this person before because there's nothing in the notes. Now I will dial the phone number that should be here, and I will now call the person, and now I have an outcome. So I go to the notes section, and I go to the note template, and let's just say the guy was busy and he asked me to call him in 2 days. So all I need to do is pick up this outcome, add it to the notes, and I will now delete this little box, or close this little box, and I will now delete the cold call task. I click on the cold call task and I delete it, and that's it. And I notice that I am now going to be calling this person in 2 days. So this is now on my schedule for 2 days from today. We are the 7th today, but we are May 7th, so in 2 days this will be on my schedule. So now if I go back to my day, I will see, and I click on all tasks, I will see that I am now I got rid of that first call, and I am now, it is on my schedule for a couple of days from today. And I could take a look at my schedule for tomorrow if I want, simply by doing this. I could filter anything here, and actually here you see the follow-up call to Bill Jones, and there's another cold call that needs to be made for Mr. Smith. So I am just going to show you. I can just delete this one because this one was not supposed to be there. But so that's it. So I can come back here and say today and past, and I will get my list back again. Okay, so I'm back to my main activity list, to my day. I've clicked on all tasks. I'm looking at today and past due. For myself, the logged in user, and I pull up my next call. And again, I will just click on the contact, not the activity, the hyperlink for the contact, and it brings me to the contact. Now I make my call, and we now have another outcome. The outcome is great. The outcome is the actual email address. So here I actually enter the email address, and I could now, and now I can save this. This is very, very important. I will save this, and what I do is I come back down here and I go to my outcomes, and I got the email address, and I add the note, and close my little window, go to my activity that I just did, and delete it. That's it. So that's exactly what we need to do. So if we look at some of the various outcomes that are possible, you see here that you have the person was busy, call back in 2 days, the gatekeeper issue, call back in 2 days. We got the email address, which is the goal of this particular campaign. We left a message with the gatekeeper, and and we need to call back in 2 days. There was no answer, so maybe we don't have the right number. So we call back in a day just in case. The person is not interested at all. The voicemail message, but we didn't leave a message. Okay, so here again, you just register the fact that you got a voicemail, but do not leave a message, and then just call the person the next day. So, and I'll go through this scenario in a second. Or you have the wrong number. All right. So those are the possible scenarios. So here again, I will go through one more scenario where we go to the contact and we see that the contact has has a cold call, so that's it. So we call the guy, and then the result of this call is that we got a voicemail, and we want to call back in 1 day. So I click on, but I did not leave a message. So I click on this, I add the note, and you'll notice that this was done properly. I can close that door, that window, and I see here that I have the 2 tasks. This one, the cold call, I need to delete it, and I leave the other one there. Okay, so this one is for tomorrow, the 8th. We are the 7th today, and that's the end of that one. So again, I come back to my day, and I get my next call. Click on all tasks, and then I get my next call.